Once again, I want to send greetings to every participant to this new symposium of Atlantic International University. I'm not sure exactly whether you guys are as excited as I personally feel, and I want to welcome all of you to this new symposium of Atlantic International University. And so far, it's about 8 o'clock where I am in North Miami Beach, Florida. In South Africa, where Dr. Temba Gola is, it's about 2 o'clock. It's same time in Namibia, same time in Mozambique. In Kenya, it's 1 o'clock. Nigeria, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ghana, it's a little earlier, about mid-noon. Cameroon, just selecting a few of these places where members of the family of Atlantic International University are. And again, I want to welcome everybody. Exponential personal growth. This is the topic for this new symposium. And pretty much, like I said, I hope everybody is happy, anticipating the good that's going to happen in a few seconds when we launch this new session, this new symposium of AIU. Personally, it's always a very, very great deal of pleasure, humongous delight that I usually feel that I get together or interact with students of Atlantic International University. And this Wednesday, April the 13th, it's not going to be an exception, definitely. I do feel, I keep repeating the same words, I do feel very, very excited, and I want to assume or believe that everybody else, all our participants are also very enthusiastic about what we're going to have during this new symposium. In terms of housekeeping, not too much. We are having this introduction, this quick introduction for myself. I am Dr. Franklin Valsin, the Academic Department of Atlantic International University. And as soon as I'm done with this quick presentation, introduction, we're gonna dive right into the first presentation that's gonna be done by Dr. Temba Gola from South Africa. For the first session, the first slot of this symposium, we're gonna have another slot beginning this afternoon in Spanish. I'm saying this afternoon because now it's morning for me. It's about 8 o'clock in North Miami Beach, Florida. And it is just about 2 a.m., 2 in the morning in Honolulu, Hawaii, where some of our employees are. So these folks are suddenly in their bed in a long sleep. And again, the bottom line is we're gonna get very, very deep into this concept of exponential personal growth from time to time. After each presentation, we're gonna have questions and answers, and eventually we'll jump in for some kind of addendum, additions that eventually I might make to clarify certain points about the presentation that will be made during this event. Again, welcome to everyone, and I hope everybody again is enthusiastic. I love that word. I'm looking at some faces right now. Everybody, I assume, is excited to be part of this event. And from this point, once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this new symposium of Atlantic International University. I want to remind you of the topic on the table, exponential personal growth. We certainly are gonna hear a significant amount of details about this topic, but right at this time, I want to turn the floor to Dr. Temba Gola from South Africa. So go ahead, Dr. Temba. It's a pleasure to have you for the first presentation of this symposium at Atlantic International University.
Thanks a lot, Doc. Let me acknowledge and appreciate the opportunity that we have been given by the university to do the presentation. That's the first issue that I wanted to appreciate. The second issue is in relation to the family. As you are doing the introduction and I'm listening from one country to another and in terms of the time frame, and I'm saying AIU family indeed. So I'm just glad to be part of this global family. I feel excited, and I think the other issue I want to appreciate is that AIU has given me some wings to fly and reach my destination, because it has been my destination and my dream one day to qualify as a doctor. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Doc. And hi to the colleagues that are joining. I never realized that there are so many people on the platform, but yes, thanks a lot for that. I will be doing my presentation. This presentation is based on my personal experience in life. I think someone once said, it seemed impossible until it's done. Meaning that anything that would want to achieve, as we have not yet started with it, it seemed to be impossible until we have tried it. So I think that is my introduction when it comes to my presentation. Is everyone able to see my presentation? Is everyone able to see my presentation?
Dr. Balsin, you are muted.
So I may proceed, Doc.
Dr. Temba, you've got to relaunch the presentation, because when I started my introduction, I used my own screen. I shared my own screen, so yours has been removed from the process. So you've got to go back to the same green link, hit on it and make sure that you have your presentation on, and we're gonna be able to see it. But so far we are not seeing anything from you.
Okay, let me try and let me.
It's the same procedure, you know, clicking on the link that says share screen. And as long as the program or the file is on your screen, we're gonna be able to see it, because at that particular point will be shared with all the participants.
Okay, can you see it now?
There we go, yes.
Okay, no, thanks a lot, Doc. As I'm saying that I will be doing my presentation is based on the personal experience that I had, which then I had in terms of wanting to reach my goal in life. My presentation is based on my personal experience. As I said, it seemed as is everything is impossible until we have tried it. And that's my motto in life, that anything we can achieve.
That's right.
And with the obstacles that we have should not threaten us to be able to plan in terms of what we want to achieve. As I said in my presentation, Jesus was born in a manger, which was the lowest place a person can be born at his time. But nevertheless, that never prevented him to reach his mission on earth. And I'm saying that in many times, we sort of lock ourselves in our previous backgrounds. Some of the backgrounds, it's a background of the parents that we find ourselves in. But in most cases, we regard that as obstacles in terms of what we want to achieve. And I'm saying we cannot change our past, but there's one thing that we can do is to influence our destination. And our future is in our hands. That's the first thing that I believe in life, that my future is in my hand. And with all those obstacles, not ignoring the fact that some of the goals that I had in life, I might not easily achieve. But when it comes to the issue of my goals, I'm determined with the determination that I would achieve those. Then my personal journey in life, as I said, I come from the family of 4 boys, where we're 4 of us. Unfortunately, my father passed on at the age of 12, and we were brought up by a single parent. So unfortunately that as we were growing up, then as the firstborn, then I had to quit matric and go and work to assist the mother to take care of my siblings. As I was saying, that at that point in time, unfortunately, the mother, which was the single parent, passed on in 1992. The unfortunate part, I remember vividly, I was about to write a test on that particular day. My mother passed on in the morning. In the evening, I was supposed to write a test to get my DP for the exams on my first degree. That was my first obstacle in life. But then, beside that, I had to then soldier on to go and write my exams, which I wrote. Then after that, I had to take care of everything. My first job, when I was doing my first qualification, as I said, I was a security officer at the public hospital in Port Elizabeth. I think it was due to the working condition that I decided that I could not bear the working conditions for the rest of my life. And that situation then sort of changed my mindset to improve my life. And it was based on that I said, during the course of the day, I had to put on my security uniform as a security guard during the day. In the evening, I had to go and attend evening classes. And that was the beginning of my career in life. I remember I graduated twice being a security. It was only after my second qualification, which was my senior degree, that I was then able to get the promotion. But as I was graduating for the second time, then I got promoted. Strangely enough, I think life doesn't always go the way we want to be. Because when I got promoted in July 1996, something happened that I got promoted in July from security officer to an assistant admin officer. I was hardly 3 months in that post that I got promoted to admin officer at our provincial department of health. Subsequent to that, I think that was September. When I got there, I only worked for 2 months. Then I got promoted again. In fact, I saw the post which I've applied November of that particular year, that was 1996. I applied for the post of the senior admin officer, which I got appointed. Then I started with my new job in January 1997. And with all those experiences from 1996 being a security was then paid off. Then the first interview that I have attended was I was still a security officer. I saw an advert. Obviously, I had a dream. I had a dream whilst I was a security, but studying part-time of improving my qualifications. And I'm saying, I think there's one interview that I can never forget. And that interview it was an interview that I attended to after the acquiring my second senior degree. When I entered the boardroom, I think it was in Pretoria, in South Africa, which is our capital town. I got into this boardroom where I got intimidated. I think it was about between 8 and 10 males, and those were white males. And obviously, when got there, I got frightened because those are the people that were actually ought to interview me. During that time, remember that we were moving from apartheid. Then that environment actually threatened me. But nevertheless, I knew that I met the requirements of that particular time in terms of the posts themselves. But there was a funny question that was posed to me by one panel members who was looking at my CV. We can see your CV, you are a security officer. And there is a gap between the security officer and the post that you've applied for. Why do you think you can be considered? And that question tried to actually demoralize me. But the issue is, I said to the panelist, when I looked at the advert, I saw that I qualify. In terms of the requirements, academic requirements of the post, I do qualify. The gentleman proceeded to ask me, but can you see the salary difference between your current position and the post that you want to apply for? I said, no, I can see. But I think out of those questions that I was actually asked, which I attempted to respond, there is one that made me not to relax until this day, until I was given that opportunity by AIU to do my PhD. The gentleman asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Remember, by the time I attended the interview, I was a security officer. Then I said to this gentleman, I see myself in one of these government departments as a director. And they were all laughing as if it was a fairy tale. But to cut the story short is that I left the interview without getting the post. Then I soldier on, and because I believe that education is the only weapon to open the doors on my life. Then I think about a month after I attended that interview, I saw another advert which I applied for, which I was considered. I will just summarize that one in terms, because I've already alluded on that one. 1996 July, when I got promoted, up to January 1997, I got promoted 3 times. I got promoted 3 times because by the time I got promoted for the 3rd time, I had a senior qualification, which I acquired, but still being a security. Now, 1999, then I saw another post which I applied for, which then motivated me because it was a post as an assistant manager in Department of Health in the Western Cape, one of our provinces in South Africa, where I was appointed as an assistant manager as a skills development facilitator, where I dealt with training. And I think that's the one that opened academic door for me, because out of that one, then I got addicted to education. Obviously, I think that was something that I felt in life to ensure that other people do not obviously go under the same experience that I had to go for 10 years to acquire and meet their dreams. So I would train the other people and facilitate the training where I could not provide training for them. And I fell in love with that. And I know for the fact that that was the beginning of my academic environment where I got entangled with education environment. I love education because education is the tool that can change the world. And I think that's what Mr. Mandela would say. Then I had a dream, as Martin Luther once said, that I have a dream. Obviously, that dream could not be achieved unless we sort of plan our lives in terms of acquiring the dreams that we want. But over above that, my attitude in life was to say, nothing comes easily. And I believe that education is the only inheritance that one would never give even to anyone, but it is a tool that will ensure that we open the world, we influence the world, we influence the other people. But over above that, my point is that my personal experience and my humble beginning motivated me to ensure that no one can easily say, I cannot achieve. And I normally tell people that I think from my junior degree up to my master level, I could not afford financially. But because of my merit that I got from my academic performance, I would be able to knock at the door of the sponsors. So I was able then to get the sponsors and the bursaries to proceed with my qualifications. And I would want to say to everyone, when you have a dream, nothing can stop you. No obstacle is big enough to stop your way. And with our dreams and our qualifications, we can also influence the other people. I do know that I've been informed by so many people that I am their role model, knowing very well where I come from in terms of my humble beginning, where I come from nowhere. But at this point in time, I'm humbled to say my efforts were able to be recognized internationally. And this is what I would want to motivate the other people in whatever corners they are, to ensure that no obstacle, no river is deep, no mountains high to be climbed to reach our destination. But obviously it might not be a smooth sailing, but we can, where there is a way, when there is a will, there is a way. So that, I think that's my story and my presentation that I wanted to share with our family and the world. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Temba Gola. It was a very straightforward, powerful testimony about the types of hardships you went through in your life, and the way we can get into this mindset of exponential growth. That's exactly what it is. Primarily, when we look at that concept, exponential growth, the first thing that popped in our mind, in our spirit or soul, is notions of mathematics. 4 times 4 equals 16, 12 plus 12 equals 24, and so forth and so on. But like I just said, there is within that concept of exponential growth, the fundamental of mindset, which embeds, I would say, 4 essential components, so to speak. We can think of motivation, number 1, a dream, number 2, an assessment of where we've been, where we are, and where we intend to be, and the type of things that can compel us to act, action being the last component of this particular mindset, which we identify through the concept of exponential growth. You have provided a very, very clear description of the concept through the experience that you had in your life, Dr. Temba Gola from South Africa. And I very, very strongly commend you for a so powerful presentation, which I hope everybody else among our attendees understands pretty well. Part of what we do is also allowing students to get a little deeper into whatever topic being discussed, which is a reason why we are now gonna very soon turn the floor to everybody else who might want to ask questions. But I also would like to polarize attention on one statement that Temba made, and I love that one, when he said life does not really unfold exactly as we want it to be. And, you know, the type of difficulties that we experiment with in our existence on Earth, they can be very, very discouraging. But this is where that concept of exponential growth comes in. Where there is a will, there is always a way. That was one of the conclusions that Dr. Temba Gola drew, and that was really to the point. And going back into another powerful statement that we hear all the time from Martin Luther King, I had a dream. So when you have that dream and you connect that dream into the elements of that paradigm of exponential growth, there is no way that those obstacles of life can hinder your ability to prosper, to move on with your life and to succeed. Congratulations again, Dr. Temba Gola. It was a very, very interesting presentation. And at this time, we want to open the floor to other attendees of this symposium. There is a link at the bottom for you to raise your hand and let us know if you want to ask a question. We will allow you to ask that question, and then I'll jump in whenever necessary to support responses that eventually will be provided by Temba Gola, our first presenter from South Africa. Thank you again, Dr. Gola. Now it's the floor to you, ladies and gentlemen, for your questions to Dr. Temba. Just raise your hand and you may close your presentation at this time, Dr. Gola, so that we can see the hands up from attendees who would like to ask questions about your presentation. The same link, Dr. Gola, from share screen, you must be able to see something that says stop. There we go. So again, the floor is open to everybody else who wants to ask a question, and we're gonna go first to Tarek Laroussi. Go ahead, Tarek, please ask your question.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Doctor. I was amazed listening to Dr. Temba, and I believe, like him, that when we have a dream, we should fight for it every second. And I remember also a friend who told me that when I asked him, he asked me, what is your old? I say, I'm getting old. And he was more than me. He said, I think that when you stop dreaming and you stop feeling love in your heart, in that moment you will feel old. And that's it. When we have a dream and we we love what we are doing, and we have this example of Dr. Temba, that I was amazed listening to it, and it was really, I can say, I admire his career and to reach his goal. So my question will be about now I have the same. I'm trying to fight for my PhD. I'm working harder with many degrees. So, but also in the same time, I have many open doors in many universities that they accept me to teach at there and to give some courses there, but I can't because I don't have the PhD yet. So in the same, the question, was it the same in your career, Mr. Temba? And for our university, is it there any, because we know that the moral contract, when you believe with them, you have this moral contract with your university, mine is IAU. So is it there any opportunity that I'm ready for the to send and my thesis, to have my diploma, sorry, and to continue the moral contract and to be all the time working with my, I have a new job, new opportunity, and also have this moral contract with my IAU and continue paying them and working with them and being the ambassador. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Temba. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tarek Laousi. Your comment or response, Dr. Temba?
Look, I'll assume that the question is, do I have any problems with the contract with the university? I couldn't just capture the question.
No. I know that our university, there is no problem. And we have our tutor, our the administration that are giving us all the chances and all the open doors. This is no problem. I was asking, how was in your career? For example, you said that when you start your PhD, the open doors started. So financially, how do you manage that? This is what was my question.
How did you manage,
okay,
Dr. Temba?
No, I get the question now. Currently, I am fully employed by SASA, which is South African Social Security Agency. But as after the graduation, I'm looking for the part-time job locally, which I have submitted my CV. I do know that I have approached about 3 universities right now, but I have not yet received any feedback as yet, but I'm open to any offer that can come my way.
Thank you for your clarification, Dr. Temba. Let's, before we get into the next presenter, the floor, I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, is still open to each and every one of you. If you want to either make a comment or you want to ask a question pertaining to the experience that Dr. Temba just described during his presentation. So you are welcome to get in there to the floor and ask your question. But in the meantime, I'm watching to see if there is any hand up. I don't see any as of yet, but we invite you, ladies and gentlemen, and pretty much like we're gonna do it right now, going to Kafuta Kiala. Go ahead, Kafuta, ask the question to Dr. Temba. Kafuta. Please turn your microphone on.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes. Can see you, but we can hear you.
My name is Kafuta Wisdom from Zambia. I happen to be an immigration officer. Now, generally in security wings, one can be holder of a chain of documentation school-wise. with masters, degree, diplomas, but generally don't look at the qualification one has. They consider other issues. Now, if you were to be in my shoes, what encouragement would you give me for me to have the courage to forge ahead? That is my question.
Dr. Temba, you got the question?
Yes, I think I got the question, Doc. Doc, let me attempt to respond. To me, maybe let me share my experience. You know, I used to be a security officer, as I said. During the night time, whilst it's quiet, I would sacrifice my time. And I knew for the fact that when it comes to the sacrifice, when it comes to education, you need to sacrifice to an extent even your social life. And this is exactly what I did. I had to sacrifice my social life for that period which I wanted to conclude my studies. I remember at one stage, I was with my friend who has passed on now. It was Easter weekend. As we were studying in one of his high school, he saw the car full of young guys who were enjoying themselves. And he said to me, my friend, can you see those friends, those guys that are enjoying themselves? I said to him, look, probably we've got VW, which is car manufacturing company in South Africa. In most cases, they lease those vehicles to their employees. I said to him, this car belongs to the company, it's not their car. But let's work to an extent that we can get our own vehicles that we can own. Currently, for now, we have nothing because both of us at that point in time were security officers. And I said to him, there comes a time that the sacrifice that we make in terms of sacrificing our own social time will pay off at the end of the day. Then on our thing, when we're doing the masters, he came to my place and we were washing the cars. He came with his car. I asked him, do you still remember the year that we were studying? I remember that weekend. It was a long weekend. It was part of holiday. And we had to sacrifice the whole entire long weekend studying and doing the assignments and all that. Then I reminded him to say, do you still remember that long weekend where we witnessed these guys who were socializing and they were drinking and all that? And he said, yes. I said, I predicted this day, that this day will come when we can have our own vehicles. But the first priority that we had to do was to sacrifice our own time so that we can stick and spend our own time in our book, so that at the end of the day, our education will be able then to open those doors for us. And this is exactly what happened. And I'm saying no environment, no experience can stop you to achieve your goal. You know, lastly, one person were driving past the cemetery. This person said to me, can you see this cemetery? And I said, yes. He said, this is a most rich place that you can ever find. I asked, what do you mean? Then he said to me, here lies people with a lot of dreams that were not fulfilled. And that begins to say to me, procrastination is a thief of time. Because once you procrastinate your achievement and your goal, you might not end getting or achieving them, but you might die without achieving them. That is why he said to me, cemeteries are the most rich places that you can get, because lie people there who could not fulfill their dream. They had a lot of dreams. And this is what I would want to encourage our colleagues to say, that procrastination is a thief of time. As we go along, the sooner we start with our own lives in terms of taking accountability and control of our lives, nothing will change. As I was saying, I was a security officer. I had no money. The only money that I had, it was the registration fee in all my qualification except the PhD. That was the only qualification that I had to pay for. But all of them, the money that because remember, by the time that I was doing my qualification, I never had an opportunity to do full-time studies during the day because I was working and I had to provide with my family. The only money that I could get was to provide with the family, which I could not be able then to provide for my studies. But with the dedication and investment that I had in education, whosoever that wanted to sponsor me, I would show that person my academic record. Here's my academic record, but the only thing that I do not have is money to fund. And this is how I manage to knock at the door of many of my sponsors. So your situation can never prevent you if you want to achieve. Your smallest time that you get, that sacrifice that you can do in terms of sacrificing your social time, you should be able to utilize that time. And even if you want to knock at the door for financial assistance, when you've got beautiful academic record, I don't think people will be reluctant to finance you, even if they don't finance you full time. And this is what has happened to me. Even AIU was able to secure sort of a funding for me to qualify and do my PhD. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Temba Gola. Thank you for your question, Tarek Tafuta Kiala, and I hope every other attendee has taken advantage of the details provided by Dr. Temba Gola on his presentation. There is an issue that one of our attendees has just brought up. I'm looking at the chat line. That's a comment or question from Tim Tabaro. And I side with you totally, which is actually the topic in question at this time, Tim, when you said that it's a beautiful thing that Dr. Temba has echoed the statement from Martin Luther King, I have a dream. But what Tim added was that it's not quite enough, really. It's not sufficient to just have a dream, but it is fundamental to dream big, which is exactly how we embed the concept of exponential growth into our lives. We're talking again about dreaming big. When it comes to this, I would also like to remind everybody that the topic of our symposium is exponential personal growth. It is very, very important that we try to piggyback on the experience presented by Dr. Temba Gola, but that we also manage our best to zero in on that particular concept, exponential growth, as we can personally implement it. And on this topic, I would like to sort of remind everybody about what we're trying to do with this symposium today, reminding everybody that we are not talking about just adding an effort here and there or every once in a while. We're talking about multiplication. And on this concept, on this topic rather, look at this definition. I hope everybody can see it on your screen. A short definition that we have for this concept of exponential growth. It is the increase in number or size at a constantly growing rate. We can, for example, imagine a formula where fx equal exponential x when we factor in the multiplication element or dimension. As I said again, it's not just about adding up numbers, adding up efforts, but we're talking about multiplying, factoring in several elements, several pieces of that effort pretty much what Chin Tabaro said. It's not about just dreaming, but it is fundamental to dream big, to multiply the effort, to multiply the numbers, to multiply whatever we can achieve, whatever we can have in terms of success in our academic life or professional endeavors. So this is where we would like to sort of keep the focus on, so that everybody fully understands exactly where we need to be, so that we can be on the same page on this topic of exponential personal growth. So let's hope our people, our attendees, our students, everybody who is enjoying this event can fully understand the particular steps that they could take to materialize that mindset of exponential growth, pretty much like Dr. Temba Gola presented it, pretty much again in line with what Chin Tabaro just emphasized, to remind us that it's of course beautiful to dream, but it is more important to dream big, to multiply the factors that we bring into the process of growing exponentially. So let's see if we have any other hand up. Not at this time, but yes, Jesse, the floor is yours, and make your comment or ask your question. Jesse.
Okay, thank you. Are you hearing me? I hope
yes.
Yes. Let me see where I am. One moment. Yeah, good morning, Dr. Temba Gola. I am Dr. Jesse
Good
Tom.
morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Jesse Tom, and I'm awaiting graduation on the postdoctorate in renewable and sustainable energy. But I'd like to say thank you for a very excellent presentation. I found it very interesting because of its clarity and my ability to relate to it. I am also from a disadvantaged background, but through personal sacrifice, discipline, and perseverance, I was able to achieve my goals, like you. I feel fully encouraged at this point in time by your presentation, and will press forward with more zeal to bring my dreams to fruition. Thank you. I meant to ask, what was your greatest challenge? But I need not ask the question, because I know that your personality, your strong personality, allowed you to endure to this level. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the presentation and for the encouragement you gave me this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Jesse Tom. I don't know if you want to add one more comment, Dr. Temba, if you want to add something to what Dr. Tom, Jesse.
Oh yes, like Dr. Temba, I lost my father at the age of about 3 or 4. So my mother had to bring us up. She had three children at that time. She eventually got 10 in all. And I had to leave school at about 12. I was never able to complete the secondary school. I didn't go on to secondary school because I wasn't able to do the common entrance to enter that school. But my mother was good enough. She taught me business subjects like shorthand, typing, office practice, and so that when I got married at a very early age, I decided to return to school. And I did well because I joined the army, and I excelled with that foundation my mother gave me. And I said to myself, do not look back, just continue going. And after working a few years, I decided to do the degree in public management at the University of Guyana. After that, continue working, and then I pursued a master's program in renewable energy. And then, thank God, the Atlantic International University encouraged me to join up. And that's when I was able to do a doctorate in climate change. And I'm now awaiting my graduation sometime this year, hopefully, on the renewable and sustainable energy. So like the doctor, I am pursuing my dreams, and I've already achieved what I set out to do. So now I'm looking forward now to give back to the society, and I will go forward now empowered to do that, because the doctors told me that once you have a dream, you can achieve it. It's just a matter of holding on to that dream and going forward, and to let nothing at all prevent me from achieving the highest level. Thank you.
Thank you very much again, Dr. Tom Jesse.
Yes.
I'm very, very happy to see that everybody is really getting into this concept of exponential growth, the way we can relate to it. I love that particular comment that Dr. Tom just made. It's not simply about understanding the concept, the factors that are involved, but it's very, very important to relate to it. If you do not get into the stage where you implement your personal understanding of this concept, then nothing is achieved.
Nothing,
One of the reasons why we are now getting together and discussing this key topic in our life is that we can pull from others' experience and be able to get into it and relate, doing it, not just understanding it, but doing it from concrete actions that we can undertake to make sure that on our end, we too grow exponentially. That was very, very powerful as well in terms of your comment, Dr. Tom, and I thank you very, very much for your input into this symposium.
Thank you.
Other hands up, I don't see any. Let's see, the floor is still up to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to make comments, you want to ask a question that either Dr. Temba Gola may respond to, or a question that I can comment about. Dr. Lambert Edward is also present to monitor how this session is unfolding. So we are open to everybody. I didn't see the icon from Eunice Lundy Bila, but I don't know if you raise your hand, Eunice. Yes, you are. So yes, turn your microphone on, Eunice, and welcome to this session with your question, Eunice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Greetings to you all. I'm really appreciative. My first time joining.
Thank you.
So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. And I really want to thank each and everyone here, especially the doctor who just spoke. She spoke, it seems as if she was just discussing with me. I felt what she was saying. I got it so seriously. And there was something or a word that it's been ringing in my mind that I just want to put in or chip in to what has been said. Like concerning what you said, that not just dreaming, but dreaming big. And I just want to say, when you dream big, be determined. Because without determination, you can't make it.
Sure.
This word has been in my mind while listening to what the doctor was saying. Like she said, we have to dream. I said, wow, that's great. And you came up and you said, we have to dream big. I said, okay, now the next thing is that we have to also be determined to what we want. Because if we only dream and we are not determined to get what we want, it's like we are just hoping in the air. But if we can put together the word to be determined to have what we want and get out of it, I believe that we'll make it. So this word was in me. I said I should just drop that word. That was what I wanted to say. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very, very, very much. At this stage and at this time, I want to thank Dr. Temba Gola with his presentation, the first for this symposium of Atlantic International University. Of course, it would be so nice if we could afford to allow every attendee, everybody to ask a question or to make a comment, but we do have some time limitations. And at this time, we just want to close this chapter as we want to very highly commend Dr. Temba Gola from South Africa for his wonderful ideas through his presentation about exponential personal growth. Thank you very much again, Dr. Temba.
Okay, thanks a lot, Doc. Thanks a lot to avail the platform for us to share our experiences, because it does assist, because when you're sitting in one corner, you think that it's impossible, but when you hear from the other people, it becomes encouraging. And I think the last thing I want to say is that the network that has been created by the university for us to engage is quite appreciated. I'm glad to be part of the family. And
thank you.
Yes, whatever that I've learned, I would want just to brighten the corner where I am. I think that's just to ensure that we improve the lives of the other people through us. In terms of, it might not be monetary, but in terms of our skills, just to ensure that the people around us are able to benefit in terms of the skills that we've acquired. That's what I seek to.
Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Dr. Temba.